Good evening. My name is Jeremy Hodges, and I'll be presenting the final demonstration of the Eastern Motors Knowledge Base project. The Knowledge Base is hosted on an in-house server built from a performance PC that we already had in inventory. Running on Ubuntu, it is provided through a traditional LAMP stack comprised of Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. I'm accessing the server remotely through NoMachine, which is currently only linked through the server in my office computer. The server is set with a static IP address, both on the machine itself and through the router. And as long as this server is powered, it will host Bookstack internally on the company. This is what Bookstack looks to the user. However, as I'm logged in as a global admin, I have permission to see every shelf for every department. Bookstack is separated into shelves. Each shelf can hold multiple books, and each book can hold multiple pages. Here's an example of a page in Bookstack. This is a troubleshooting guide for connecting to impact printers, a common task when finance managers are replaced or transferred. Access to these shelves is granted through the User Roles Management tab. Jumping into Accounts Payable, we can see that they only have viewing privileges. Theoretically, they could view every shelf, book, chapter, and page. A manager is capable of these same things. However, they possess the ability to create books. At first glance, you might be able to think, well, being able to view everything and create books for all, what's stopping people from accessing things they're not supposed to access? There's a second level to permissions in Bookstack, and it comes into play with shelves. Shelves have their own permissions, which override employee roles. It kind of works like making exceptions. If we look at accounting, we can see that there's an exception for accounts payable in the corporate controller. Accounts payable can view, and a corporate controller can view, create, update, and delete. Everyone else can do nothing. And this overpowers a user role. If a shelf tells an employee that they cannot view it, everyone else, then only these up here will be able to view it. If I log out of my global account and into Haley Wright, every account is protected by multi-factor authentication. I'm using Microsoft Authenticator. I'll enter the code presented by it and get access. So we can see from the general employee's point of view, it's a little different. Haley here only sees accounting in the general employees tab. She can go into employees, view information on the knowledge base itself, read about the communications policy, or coming soon, find some troubleshooting pages. However, she has no permission to create anything, not even in her own category, so to say, because that's the role of the department head. And we want to consolidate that to managers so we don't have an overflow of information. We don't want to overwhelm employees with a bunch of useless information. We only want the managers to put things that are relevant to their department in here. We'll now log into Tiffany Birdsman's account. She is the corporate controller and the manager for all the accountants. And we can see she has a little bit of a different view as well. She can view accounting, employees, and managers. Hopping into managers, We can see there's something new here. She can create books, which become available to anyone who has access to the Manager tab. She's also able to create pages. If she goes into her own accounting, the corporate controller has complete control of the accounting shelf. She can create books, pages, and chapters and fill it with anything she wants, within reason, of course. And this works the same way for every department head. The service manager has full control over the service shelf. The parts manager has full control of the parts shelf, so on and so forth. The goal is that IT takes on the role of global administration. We oversee and track the creation of shelves, pages, make sure it doesn't get too messy. We will provide constant updates and monitor the software and troubleshooting as needed. But we really want this to be a collaborative effort for the managers and shape this knowledge base into something useful for them.